Why won't my lilies bloom? Does Repelzol work on insects? And how do I kill stiltgrass? Folks, I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well folks, it has been extremely hot out the last week or so, and hopefully all of our listeners have been able to stay cool. And if you listened to our video podcast last week, hopefully you followed those steps and your lawn is looking great in spite of the heat. Now, there was an influx of emails that we had the last week, so we went ahead and picked 5 for today's video podcast. So buckle up everybody, let's jump right in. The first question is from George. Good morning, Tim. Wondering why my lilies won't bloom. There are others in another part of my lawn that bloom every year. Others never do. So there are actually a number of factors that could be causing your lilies not to bloom. First of all, lilies really like the sun. So if they're not getting full sun and the area where you're struggling with your lilies, if it's not getting full sun, that could be part of the problem. The other issue could be overcrowding of the bulbs of the lilies. Lilies need some space to grow, and obviously if the bulbs are too compacted together within the soil, they're actually going to be fighting for the nutrition and therefore not actually be able to pull up enough nutrition to produce blooms. So that's another really common problem. But my guess is they're probably not getting enough nutrition, and so it could just be the type of fertilizer that you're using. Now, I don't know if you're fertilizing them or if you are, what you're using, but what I would highly recommend is you try Garden Trust. Now, Garden Trust has a very balanced NPK ratio, okay? And what that means is it has the right amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. What happens with a lot of people who maybe just see plant fertilizer and they put it down, they realize that there's too much nitrogen in that particular formula and not enough of the phosphorus and not enough of the potassium. What happens is it grows really great foliage, but there's not enough of the nutrition that it needs to produce the bloom. So if you are using Garden Trust, that's actually not going to be a problem because it is a 15-15-14 NPK ratio. It's a very balanced fertilizer. I use it in my own gardens and it produces some really, really beautiful blooms. So again, without additional information, without any pictures, I can't be 100% certain, but I would always go back to what are you feeding it, and I would definitely make sure that you're using Garden Trust. The next question is from Marcia. Tim, will Repelzol stop whatever insect is starting to eat holes in my hosta plants? They just started eating holes in the leaves, but it gets worse as the days go by. I get this every year on these plants. Unfortunately, Repelzol is designed more for mammals, your mammal varmints, and not necessarily insects. So it's really not going to do anything to help your hostas in terms of preventing the insect damage. What I actually recommend you use is BioAdvanced 3-in-1. Now this will kill any insect that's currently on the plant. It'll help prevent other insects from trying to land and eat the plant. But again, unlike Repelzol, it's specifically designed to take care of insects. Now, something else that you may run into, again, you didn't send any pictures as far as what specific insects are eating it, but slugs also love hostas. You have not mentioned in your email that you saw any slugs, but if you do, Sluggo is actually a really effective product at helping kill slugs, again, and protecting those plants. Now, the other thing you may want to consider much earlier in the year is to use like a natural product like neem oil. If you spray down your hostas with neem oil, that'll help prevent insects from even starting to munch on those leaves because it's a natural insect repellent, if you will. It's going to just kind of deter them from landing on the plant. It's going to deter them from eating the plant. So again, if it's early in the spring, I would definitely use something like a neem oil to kind of hopefully prevent the plant from getting eaten, but you're already seeing insect activity, and so I would absolutely use BioAdvanced 3-in-1. It's available over at Rosen's Online. The third question is from Marco. Hi Tim, do you have an herbicide that kills stiltgrass on the lawn? So when it comes to killing Japanese stilt grass, we've had a lot of success with a product by BioAdvance called Extreme Crabgrass Killer. If you look at the label, it actually specifically mentions Japanese stilt grass. And as you know, this is a pretty invasive grass. It spreads very, very quickly, and there are very few herbicides that will actually kill it outside of your non-selectives, which obviously are going to kill anything. But it's in your grass. You're trying to preserve your grass, so I would highly recommend you head over to rosesonline.com and pick up a bottle of BioAdvanced Extreme Crabgrass Killer. The fourth question is from John. Tim, last fall, an oak tree in my backyard dropped a bumper crop of acorns. We raked, scooped, and even pulled the shop vac out in an effort to pick all these acorns up. Well, here we are in mid-June, and I have hundreds of oak tree sprouts coming up in my lawn. Is there any treatment to eliminate these oak sprouts? So I feel your pain. I have dozens of squirrels that live on my property, and they truly feel that they're doing me a favor by burying all the acorns they can find in my grass. So inevitably, every spring, I get these little seedlings, these oak tree seedlings that start to sprout up from my grass. Now, unfortunately, I'm not aware of an herbicide that will protect your grass, but also kill these little oak tree seedlings, these little oak tree sprouts. So really, you have two surefire ways to deal with the problem. One is to pull them up or dig them up, and that's typically what I do. I can walk around my yard, I see them, I pluck them out of the ground, and I move on. The other option is to use a non-selective herbicide, something like a cleanup by Bonide, a kills all, Roundup if you're so inclined. But again, it's gonna kill those seedlings, but it's also gonna damage and potentially kill any of the other plant life, the grass that's gonna be around that seedling. So if you're okay with killing your lawn as you try to eradicate the problem, then using something like a cleanup is the best option. But if you have the time and you don't mind putting in a little bit of physical effort, I would actually try to just pluck them out by hand. It's really the only surefire way to get rid of the little sprouts while also maintaining your lawn. The last question for today is from Richard. Hi Tim, with the upcoming heat and no immediate rain in sight, I am concerned about my now thick lawn. Last week I put down the second application of turf trust and lightly watered it in. However, the ground is already bone dry, and with the high cost of water in our area, I am reluctant to water. How can I protect my lawn from the heat? I am planning on skipping this week's mowing. Is that a good idea? All right, so I addressed some of these issues in our video last week, but I want to make sure I touch on a couple of really important points. The fact that you have already put down your second application of a turf truss is really going to help your lawn. Again, it's going to feed your lawn slowly and gently, and really it's going to help your grass thrive throughout the summer, even when the conditions aren't ideal in terms of it's really, really hot, there is a lack of water. Now, I appreciate that when you're using city water, it can get expensive and you don't want to pay that money to water your lawn. I'll be perfectly honest with you though, there is no substitution to keep your lawn healthy than using water. It's what it needs to thrive. And so even though using something like a turf truss is really going to help your grass, at the end of the day, there's going to reach a point where the only thing that can help it is it's going to get that water. So in the meantime, if you're not ready to water it just yet, then what you're choosing to do about not mowing your grass is perfect. Don't mow your lawn in extreme heat. And in fact, your grass will do much better if you allow it to stay a little bit longer during these really, really hot summer days. Once you get some water on it and you feel like it's coming back a little bit better, then you can go ahead and mow it. But as I said, it's really great that you put down turf truss. Unfortunately, even turf truss, as great of a product it is, can't substitute what your grass really is ultimately craving during this time of year, which is water, and not mowing it. If you can get it some water, not mow it, and give it turf truss, you've already done two of those three, your lawn should be okay. And frankly, if you're able to get some water on it over the course of the summer, your lawn should really thrive. All right, folks, just a couple final thoughts here as we wrap up this week's episode of Garden Sense. Folks, we are in summer right now, and your lawn is craving a second feeding of Turf Trust. Now, if you've already put down your second application, great. You're on a really, really good path. If you haven't, it's really critical that you head over to rosensonline.com right now and take advantage of our summer stock up special. Folks, at the end of the day, we are heading into some really, really hot months, and Turf Trust is perfectly designed to help feed your lawn slowly and to help it really thrive through those hot months. So again, head over to Rosens Online and take advantage of the special pricing, take advantage of the free shipping. You're going to get the product that's really going to help your lawn maintain its beauty, keep it healthy over the months of July and into August, and you're going to save some money at the same time. Now, in addition to Turf Trust, I also want to recommend that we continue to put down Kickstart. Folks, the hotter it is, the more that your grass is going to respond positively to something like Kickstart. And the reason for that is because a strong root system allows your grass to continue to pull in the nutrition, pull in the moisture from the soil, and to keep your grass growing. And building a strong root system is exactly what Kickstart was designed to do. So head over to rosensonline.com and pick up some Kickstart. If you use it a lot already, again, you can buy it by the case, or you can just hit the drop down and select the number of bottles that you need. Again, every bottle of Kickstart, that Kickstart concentrate, will cover 5,000 square feet. Folks, as always, I say this every single week, and I will continue to say it. If you have questions, please send them directly to me, tim@rosensonline.com. I love getting all of your questions. I love the feedback that you send me. But again, make sure you send it to tim@rosensonline.com. Give me a couple of days, and if I receive it, I promise I will get back to you. Folks, I hope that you have really enjoyed this video podcast. We really appreciate you giving us so much time. Have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.